Hello and a warm welcome to the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Obiageli. Sincere apologies for starting a little bit behind schedule. And now the headlines. President Buhari summons Inspector General of Police over increasing cases of rape in the country. Federal government recommences evacuation of Nigerians abroad amid COVID-19 onslaught. Minister of Finance briefs Senate on power sector recovery plan. And World raises awareness on abuse of elderly as International Day is marked. We thank you for joining us, and now the details. The Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, has made a passionate appeal to Nigerians to promptly report cases of rape and gender-based violence in the country as part of their contributions towards putting an end to the dreaded scourge. This was while addressing newsmen after being summoned by President Muhammadu Buhari over the worrisome situation across the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
Although rape is not a new phenomenon in Nigeria's crime history, but the alarming increase in cases of the dreaded scourge in recent times, especially during the COVID-19 lockdown, leaves much to be desired.
The Nigerian police so far from January 2020 till May 2020 recorded about 717 rape incidents that were reported across the country. 799 suspects were so far arrested, with 631 cases conclusively investigated and charged to court. And we have 52 cases that are remaining under investigation.
And this worrisome development informed IGP Muhammad Adamu's summon by President Muhammadu Buhari for briefing. The meeting is a follow-up to the resolution by the Federal Executive Council to do whatever it takes towards stopping the heinous acts and bringing perpetrators to justice. Details of their discussions held behind closed doors were not made public, but the IGP, joined by the Ministers of Information and Women Affairs, told newsmen that the Nigeria Police is prepared to collaborate more effectively with other security agencies and NGOs towards ensuring that cases of rape and gender-based violence are dealt with appropriately.
Just to tell you that government is doing something seriously to curtail this type of offense. I will call on every Nigerian that has or comes across any victim of sexual offenses, of rape, or gender-based violence to quickly report to law enforcement agents, because keeping it without reporting it will give room for the perpetrators to continue to commit the offenses. It is a very serious offense. It is very wicked of an individual to engage in rape or defilement. Some are doing it for ritual purposes. Some are doing it because they sit within the family and they see the victims and they feel the urge to go into it and do it. But such people should not be allowed to go scot-free.
He expressed formal appreciation to NGOs and civil society organizations that have the capacity to deal with such offenses for supporting law enforcement agencies in the area of capacity building to effectively manage victims of rape and gender-based violence in Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now let's take a look at labor effort to avert job loss. In response to the impact of COVID-19 on health, livelihoods, businesses and jobs, a memorandum of understanding to avert job losses, promote enterprises and decent job creation has been signed by representatives of the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association and the organized labor to boost productivity. Emmanuel Ayumero, who witnessed the signing of the MOU held in Abuja, now reports.
Going by the International Labour Organization estimates in April this year, about 1.6 billion workers in informal sector and 195 million in formal economy globally will be at risk of having their livelihoods destroyed due to coronavirus pandemic. This necessitated the coming together of social partners towards developing a shared perspective at mitigating the impact of the pandemic.
We have therefore agreed to work together, having identified the various roles we have to play to ensure a sustainable post-19 economy and job security for the mutual benefit of all.
It is very necessary, and that's why we have come together to sign a peace agreement that even if people are going to lose their job, it's going to be on reasonable ground.
Labour, in appreciation of government's effort at containing the spread of coronavirus, wants issues of insecurity in parts of the country to be addressed so as not to be robbed of the gains already recorded in the past.
Given the need to boost productivity and economic growth, at this time, we will continue to work with NECA to put pressure on government to provide businesses with palliative, grants, and physical support initiatives, including downward review of taxes and interest rates, in order to give businesses the breathing space to maintain production.
Both employers and workers' representatives pledge to imbibe the principles of social dialogue in addressing issues of industrial relations to boost economic activities across the nation. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
And an update of COVID-19, global cases of coronavirus surpasses 8 million as Indian journalists are targeted during lockdown. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday is here with updates on COVID-19.
The World Health Organization and United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, have warned that the coronavirus pandemic could lead to the death of an additional 51,000 under 5s in the Middle East and North Africa by the end of the year. The UN agency said the disruption of essential health and nutritional services is now a risk factor in the regions. And the Rights and Risk Analysis Group said at least 55 journalists have either faced arrests, physical assaults, alleged destruction of properties, or threats to life for reporting on the coronavirus crisis during India's lockdown. The group said India has become the riskiest place for journalists in the world, as India states and political activists allege that journalists acted prejudicial to maintenance of harmony and the national integrity